What's up? It's been forever, I know. I'm trying to make myself more consistent with making videos and just not allowing any excuses to come about. Like, oh, I'm not at home, I don't have my ring light, or I'm not in a good space to do a video. It's like, no, you gotta do what you gotta do and when you need to do it, because God always has a word for somebody or just encouragement for somebody. And I just had the craziest thought, I'm gonna start this series of where I'm going to be talking about what looks like, because it is not, but what looks like contradictions in the Bible. I see a lot of people, talk about certain things in the Bible and how God says this one minute, and then the next minute he goes like exactly against what he just said in another part of the Bible. And it might be in another chapter, or even it might be in the Old Testament it was one way, now in the New Testament he's talking about something else. But in reality, it all comes to a common ground, and it all comes together to make sense, and it's not a contradiction. God just requires certain things under different covenants and stuff like that. But what I was just going to say is that you have to become like a child to put away childish things. Sounds pretty funny, right? You think about it, like, what? Because God was Jesus was talking to one of his followers, or one of the apostles, and he had asked him, like, unless you come as a child, you will not see the kingdom of heaven. I don't think I'm saying it word for word, but basically paraphrasing, that's what he was talking to one of his disciples about. And one of the disciples questioned him, like, what do you mean? Like, I gotta go back into my mom's womb and be born again? Like, so he did say be born again. And so wait a minute, let me say that, because I did say it wrong. So it's not him saying he says, unless you come to me as one of these. So it was a lot of children around, and he basically used the children as an example of how we need to come to God, and then he told his disciples that they needed to be born again. And that's when he asked, like, what am I supposed to do? Go into my mother's womb, and be rebirthed, as I am now as an adult. So the apostle did not understand exactly what Jesus was saying. And honestly, that's what a lot of people do when they kind of try to talk about the contradictions and this, that, and the others, because they're looking at it from a mind that has not been reborn again. You have to relearn so many things. And with that, becoming like a child to put away childish things. So when you when you put away childish things, you are actually maturing. You're becoming more like Christ, and you're just growing up, and that can go hand in hand with healing. I feel like healing is that place of growing and maturing in who you are as a person, and putting away those things that have hurt you in the past. And that's a lot of stuff comes from a lot of childhood trauma, some of the ways our families have treated us, or our parents have treated us, or even the friends. We may have gotten bullied about certain stuff, or maybe we didn't have certain things growing up, or we didn't have the discipline, or we didn't have the education or the training or anything. So now we're just trying to figure things out on our own, and we're having all these trust issues. I know I can relate to that, because I have some issues that I'm still healing from, and there's many of areas that I have been healed from, but I'm still not 100% healed in everything. That's not possible for me right now, but I believe that is possible soon in my life. But yeah, so it takes a lot of childlike mindsets to really come to God. It's like when you talk to your kids. Me and my friends are talking about that. We were walking in the morning, and we were just talking about how you really have to become like a child, because I can tell my kid, he's a 5-year-old kindergartner, and I can tell him mostly anything, and he'll automatically believe me. He'll ask a question like, really, Mom? And I'll be like, yeah, because of this, and because of this. And he's like, oh, okay. And then days later, and even months later, I hear him repeating the things that I've said to him, because he believed me. And it goes the same as us. So if, you read the word and God requires certain things, or he's telling us certain stuff, or these things actually have taken place, you have to believe that it did, and it's going to take you to be, very innocent minded towards it, and not think of it or view it through your trauma. A lot of trauma causes people to grow up prematurely, or people to operate on survival instead of, just a healthy way of learning and living, because there's a lot of disadvantages in life, and certain stuff that has happened to us, we didn't ask for, because if we could ask for, a certain type of life, I'm highly sure we would have asked for certain things that we feel like we lack, whether that's absent parents, or whether that's parents who were there but maybe less strict, or a little more attentive to us. Like, there's a lot of things that come to play with how we would ask for certain stuff. There's things that we would ask, and tailored to our life and our liking and our desires and stuff like that. So, but in order to honestly, even believe that these things are possible, we still have to have this childlike mentality in order to receive it. But it is not the same thing as being immature, or, thinking on childish things, because in another scripture, which is my point of people saying that there's contradictions in the Bible, is that on one of the scriptures, it says that a man should put away childish things. And once when you were a child, you think like a child. But when you're an adult, or you're a man, or you grow up, then you put away childish things and you think as an adult or an older person. And I'll also link the scriptures on this so that you can kind of see where I'm coming from, and know that I am not making things up. Even if I don't say them correctly, they're paraphrased, but they're right. So it's right because it's God's way, not mine. But anyway, it's like so it's like, now you're telling me to be reborn, you're telling me to come as a child, but then you're telling me to put away childish things. So it would seem as a contradiction, right? But it is not. It is two totally different things. And when you look at it from the aspect of what is God intending, what is the context to these scriptures, then you understand that, okay, this is not a contradiction. You just have to see it from a spiritual aspect, and not a just natural mindset, or seeing with your natural eyes. So, with that being said, it was just pretty awesome to have that thought of, you have to become childlike to put away childish things. You have to come to God as in full belief, in innocence, even, if you're not an innocent person, you might have done things that were not so kid friendly, or you might be involved in things that are not so kid friendly right now. That does not mean that you cannot come to God. You have to put away all of the negative stuff and really believe what God says. So it's like, you might have the consequences, when I had to discipline my kid, it didn't feel good to him. But even then, the same person that disciplined him, I can reach out for a hug literally seconds after, and he's going to hug me because he wants that comfort. He wants to just be forgiven, or he wants to forgive me very quickly. And that's a trait of a child that is God really just adores, and he really just wants us to be like. So, when you think about certain aspects of childlike, it's like having faith and knowing that God is who he says he is, his word is what it says it is, and he's going to do what he said he's going to do. And the main way that you can find what God is going to do is in his word, by reading the Bible. And you may think, because it's like so many scriptures, it's a lot, that you don't think that he can deal with your issue very intentionally dealing with your issues like right then and there, because the Bible is so big, and it's like, where do I start, where do I go? I don't know what scriptures to go to, but when you actually just ask God, like, I really need you to show me, like when I'm going through the app and I'm really like, keep putting something on my mind that you want me to read in this time right now on today, and then pray for deeper revelation and understanding through the way that he will want you to comprehend it, and not for yourself. And you'll start to see things, differently, but you have to first believe, and that's going to take some childlike faith in order for you to just open up your word and begin to ask him to show you what these things mean. I've seen people joke about, us eating his body with the bread and drinking his blood with wine, and trying to say that we're practicing, certain witchcrafts and all that other stuff, or that we talk about people who do witchcraft like we're not doing some of what they're doing, but in reality we are not. It's bread and it's wine, and we're also doing it from a different source. So if you're getting your source from anything other than God, then of course it's not godly. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I could make up a whole nother meeting. I got a dang on notification for a meeting, but I can make a whole nother video for that. But yeah, so and also, just I keep getting these notifications, it's throwing me off. But yeah, so yeah, you can become childlike and really, really see God from a perspective of a pure heart, regardless of how impure you have been, how angry you have been, all of the issues that have been put on you through other people. You have to still do that by faith. And as you begin to read the scriptures and begin to learn more about God and begin to pray more, you'll become more mature in your mindset. You'll start to understand people a little better, and you'll start growing and healing and understanding about your life. So then when you start seeing certain traits of other people, you understand that, okay, they probably have been hurt in certain areas, just like I have. And it gives you a softer heart towards people, of forgiveness, because that's the will of God, is to forgive others, so that we may be forgiven. And yeah. So I would say, you do have to become childlike in order to put away childish things, because childish things are reacting abnormally, and I actually made a blog post called are you genuinely, or am I genuinely mature? Because people use that word a lot, and I feel like I use the word a lot, and I've heard I was mature a lot in my life, but I don't think it was to the aspect of godliness. It was mature because I was just really laid back, cool, smooth, but I was still childish in certain ways in my reactions and actions towards people and towards myself, and also towards God. So yeah, so understanding maturity, I would just encourage you to read that blog post. It's probably maybe about 50% of just help towards gaining maturity, and it does just help give you a deeper understanding of where I'm coming from. So I'm going to link the blog in here, and I'm also going to link the scriptures. So I really hope that this video just blesses somebody who may be trying to grow in faith, but they're kind of confused, or they're feeling like they don't know what to do, where to start, but they want to grow. Like, they feel this urge of wanting to know God, but they keep being distracted by church folks, or other believers, or even other influences outside of believing, because that's what kept me out for so long. I had really began to start reading more of my word around like 19, and went deeper when I became like 21. So between 19 and 21, it was like this war, between me and myself, trying to deny my flesh, try not to smoke, try not to drink, try not to fornicate, try not to date, certain people. Wind up doing that a lot. So your journey's not going to be perfect, and you're going to still have some immaturity as you grow. But guess what? You keep growing. So, certain things will grow off you as you continue to just press and continue to just read and continue to pray and continue to learn, So, yeah, that's it. I just wanted to make a video because I ain't did one in a while, and I don't want to make any more excuses. So, yeah. Thank y'all for watching this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to like my page on Facebook, and share this with somebody, hopefully, that that this might be a blessing to somebody. So thank y'all. I'm Sonisha F, and yeah, I'm out.